like you've gone through maybe a stretch like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were certain times at Texas Tech when we didn't do the things that we wanted to as an offense to find ways to win. Like you said, I've definitely been through adverse times when I was in college of not winning the games that I felt like we could have won. And then I think my first year here, whenever the team went through a little stretch where they weren't winning games, was something that I could always follow. I can look back upon and realize that it's a long season. You can figure it out. And that team, my rookie season, started hot, had a few games they didn't like it, and then they kind of picked it back up as the season went on. And so, I mean, there's just difficult times in the NFL. I mean, teams are good, and we played some great opponents so far this season. And so we'll have to find a way to get this thing rolling again on a short week against a great opponent.
So in this instance, how do you get to the other side?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to keep trying to execute and trusting in what we're doing. I mean, I feel like there's plays here and there every single game that change the outcome, and that's how close it is in the NFL. I mean, every team it can win every single week, so it's about the little plays here and there that can change the whole aspect of a football game.
But your first 16 passes, I think you completed 10 for 180-some yards, and then it was 9-19 for 80-some after that. Was there an adjustment that they made? How much of that was ankle protection?
I don't know if any was ankle protection at all, but I mean, they played the similar defense the whole game. We didn't execute at a high enough level. I didn't make the throws at a high enough level as the game went on. But I mean, I felt like we were doing the same things. We were running plays that we had game planned for, and we just didn't get some of those series rolling the way that we wanted to get going to have success later in the game.
Patrick, from your perspective, I know Travis is one of the best, if not the best tight end in the NFL, but from your perspective, how much are you watching or seeing opposing defenses just try to be as physical as possible, even if a penalty occurs, then sort of letting you and him get into a rhythm or a flow as the game goes on?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the last few weeks, defenses are going to put their hands on them and try to hold them and rough them up at the line of scrimmage in order to disrupt our timing. All we can do as an offense is just keep going through our offense and trying to keep executing at a high level. I mean, me and him both have to be better about trying to find ways to give him time to get open and make better throws when he does get open, and then him to keep working those routes and trusting in his technique and his abilities. And that's stuff that we'll work as the season goes on. I mean, obviously this will be a time where we can look back upon that. Hopefully that we learned a lot of things about ourselves as a team and as an offense in order to hopefully grow as an offense with a lot of these young guys that we have on this team.
With Tyreek coming back, could you see a difference either in the game or just compared to previous weeks as far as how the defense was maybe presenting some coverages and looks towards you now that he's back on the field?
Yeah, I mean, when Tyreek's out there, defense have to pay extra attention to him, and I think you saw that at the beginning of the game. They kind of start off with that kind of the more press man that we had been seeing, and he kind of got him a couple times, and then you started to see that they were kind of backing off of him earlier and kind of playing more of a press bell, and the safety was cheating over there to kind of help out with the guys over there. So he's a guy that it takes a little added attention, and so we need to help utilize that as whenever he does get those matchups, take them. But when they're adding that attention, we have to use other guys to have success as an offense.
How do you handle and accept the responsibility of just knowing that after back-to-back losses and you go out to practice this week, that there's going to be a lot of guys, new guys, younger guys on this team that are just going to look to you into how you're handling it and just how you approach, whether it's during practice or in the meetings or whatever it is, how do you accept that responsibility?
Yeah, I think you have to go about it as you just need to get better each and every week. And I think you have to have that same mentality after a win as you have after a loss, is that you're trying to go out there to get better. And so we obviously, after back-to-back losses, we're not happy with how we've performed the last few weeks, but we know we have a short week against another opponent, and we still have everything. We can still control our own destiny as far as our division and trying to win the AFC West and do those different things. And so this is an important game this week. I mean, we're playing Denver at Denver. They've won, I think, 2 in a row, so that they're kind of playing really good football right now. And so for us, we have to make sure that we have our game plan down and we can really execute at a high level in a hostile environment.
Shady ran 8 times yesterday, and the coaching staff kind of pointed to the RPOs. Just how do you go about self-scouting? Okay, did I make the right call here to pass? Did I make the right call to run? So on and so forth.
Yeah, I think you look at the plus, the positive parts of each play, and I feel like on a lot of those RPOs we completed the passes. I think there was one time, if I look back right now, I'm about to watch the film after this, but I think there was one time where I made a throw to Pringle that we almost hit on that missed, that the run could have been out from the little pictures I saw on the tablet and stuff like that. But for the most part, a lot of those things where I was kind of throwing them to Tyreek on the side, where he was getting 9 yards a catch and stuff like that, was those RPO options, and you get +9 on those throws, then those are usually success plays for us.
Patrick, the offensive line takes a lot of the criticism, when the offense isn't doing well. What's your message to them to let them know that you still have confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I always have confidence in those guys. Those guys are working their tail off to protect for me, and we put a lot on them as far as letting them have to have those one-on-one against really good pass rushers with the Texans in these last couple weeks, and they've been holding their own and doing their best job every single play. And so for us, I'll keep trusting those guys to keep doing their job. I have to get the ball out of my hands whenever the play isn't there, and I think you saw that with the play before half of I held on to it just a little bit too long instead of just burning it and living the play for the next play and then later to the next half. And that's just little mistakes that you can't make when you're playing a good opponent like that.
Confidence-wise, as a group and maybe as you individually, does it feel different? Last year, you're losing shootouts when you lost a couple. Now you guys have lost a couple where you scored 24 or 13 points. How's your confidence and the confidence in the team as a group offensively that you'll be able to kind of get back rolling to what at least fans expect to score 30 or 40 points every year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we still did a good job yesterday of moving the ball up and down the field for the most part. There was a couple drives there at the end that we just didn't get it rolling from the beginning and kind of put our defense in a bad situation, putting them right back on the field. But I think the biggest thing is it's the difference that you have from just missing those little plays as far as third down conversions and little things like that we were making last year that we haven't made these last few weeks, and we were making at the early part of the season, is what changes the whole aspect of the game. And so knowing that and guys seeing that on film, they understand that we're this close to being that same explosive offense that we were at the early part of the season. So it's about just executing as we keep getting guys back and keep getting more and more opportunities. We have to make sure we execute at a high enough level to have success.
Couple more, guys.
Last year, if my memory is correct, the Thursday night game was in December when obviously your body's gone through a lot of games, a lot of sort of bruising. What about last year can prepare you to try to get your body as best possible for Thursday against the Broncos?
Yeah, I think last year we did a good job of executing at the beginning of the game. We kind of faded at the end. So I think just knowing that it's going to be a full game, you have to make sure you're going to play a full entire game against a division opponent, and knowing that they're going to give their best effort because it's such an important game. So for us, we're just going to go out there, get this game plan down today, make sure that we prepare ourselves to play a full 60 minutes or however long it takes.
I know you haven't probably studied the Broncos too much yet, but you've faced them several times in your career, new head coach and stuff like that. But they pitched a shutout yesterday. Their defense looks like they're kind of coming around. What's that challenge going to be like?
Yeah, I mean, they have first off, they have great personnel with the defensive players that they have that have came back and that have been there for a long time. And then with Coach Fangio, I mean, he's such a good, really good defensive coordinator, and then now a head coach. And so for them to have that combination, they're going to have a good defense. And so as an offense, we're going to have to make sure that we understand what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it, and then find ways to have success whenever we get our opportunities.